Think about a patient encounter, one that really stayed with you, one that made you reflect afterwards. Maybe it was uplifting, maybe it was challenging. Autoethnography is a way for us to turn those moments into something more meaningful, and in particular into meaningful research. It's a methodology that allows us to take our own lived experiences and to use them to understand the bigger picture. So it's a research methodology or philosophy that starts with us as individuals, but then it branches out into this larger exploration of culture. And for us as healthcare professionals, that could be our culture in the workplace, it can be our culture as learners or as educators. Autoethnography then is an approach to research and writing that describes and systematically analyzes personal experience in order to understand cultural experience and cultural nuance. It's an exploration of the self, and it uses methods to extrapolate or draw upon those individual experiences and to sort of zoom out from them and to make observations about the world we live in and the culture or cultures that we engage in. In other words, we don't just tell stories, we reflect on them deeply, we connect those stories to theory, and we use them to generate new knowledge and understanding. So autoethnography then allows us to observe, first of all, ourselves and the world that we live in, and in particular that culture that we engage in. And it allows us to create links between the observations of the self and our direct observations of the world, linking them with a more theoretical understanding. So autoethnography then is particularly useful when it comes to starting to challenge dominant narratives. So why does that matter then for us as health professionals and in particular as advanced practitioners? Well, as an advanced practitioner, we are responsible for developing our own reflective practice. Autoethnography then takes that reflective practice and it aims to deepen it, deepening our relationship with ourselves, deepening our relationship with our experiences and with the broader evidence base. It's supposed to do that in a systematic way. So it links directly to our research pillar as advanced practitioners and our understanding of how research and researcher skills can help to develop our role in pushing healthcare further. In that case, we are supposed to develop our critical thinking skills, our use of emotional intelligence, and our ability to apply evidence in practice to improve patient care. And autoethnography provides a set of tools to be able to do just that. So thinking more broadly about what autoethnography is, well, it sits in the interpretivist tradition of research. So it's a qualitative methodology. Now, we can explore those ideas in more detail, but trying to keep it brief and sort of easy to understand, what this really means is that it values understanding meaning over just measuring outcomes. So broadly speaking, in terms of research schools of thought or research philosophies or paradigms, to throw some words around there, essentially what we have is sort of broad perspectives or broad values in terms of how we understand the wider world. Do we understand it in regard to being able to describe experiences and to be able to promote sort of meaning and understanding of what it is to be human and to have subjective lived experience of the world around us? Or do we measure it more objectively? And that's not to say that one is better or more kind of dominant than the other. It's just that we have these different tools or different perspectives in order to start to understand the world around us. And autoethnography sits within that qualitative set of perspectives. So autoethnography then aims to connect our personal and social worlds. It's a way to start to understand your own individual experiences and then shed light on the implications of those experiences for broader cultures. And in this case, we're looking at healthcare and education culture. Taking a recent study into account, exploring the breast is best message in public health campaigns, the author, who was both a mother and a dietitian, reflected on her own experiences, her challenges, and her struggles, and indeed some of her triumphs, as someone who found it difficult to breastfeed her own children. She used her own experiences, drawing links to the literature, to start to challenge how healthcare systems can sometimes unintentionally shame mothers who formula feed. By using her own story, she contributed to improving public health messaging for others. You can do the same in your own practice. Reflecting on your own clinical experiences can inform not just your learning, but also potentially wider system change. So autoethnography is more than simply storytelling. It goes beyond what you might expect of a simple autobiography, in that it is more about you understanding and analysing your own experience. It's about turning your own experiences into evidence. Autoethnography, you could start to see it as a kind of academic people watching, but you start, rather than watching others, you are observing yourself and others around you. And one great way of documenting that academic people watching and self-reflection is through the use of field notes. So in my next video, we're going to look more deeply at that. We're going to be thinking about some of the tools that sit within autoethnography that we can use to deepen our reflective practice and to start capturing those thoughts and ideas and then making those links to the literature. Thanks for watching.